Hi, hello, and welcome to Rebel Unicorn Crafts. Today we're going to be talking about assistive painting devices. I teach art, and one of my goals is to make art as accessible, whether that's from knowledge or just making things seem easier to do. But one other aspect of that is making sure that people who've had to stop painting, because I've heard this quite a bit, they've had to stop painting because they have developed arthritis, pain, they have a disability, they've got tremors, some sort of thing that is stopping them from being able to physically paint. And so when a few weeks ago I made a silly video showing myself taping paintbrushes to my fingers because I just thought it'd be funny to have paintbrush fingers, someone actually commented, and it felt really serendipitous because what they said was that there are actually tools made for people with disability that you can wear as a ring, and they do a very similar thing. This got me so curious because I thought maybe there were some other solutions for people who do come to me and say that they're having trouble holding the brush and things like that. So I did a ton of research, and today I want to talk about a bunch of these devices. First up, let's talk about things that might help with grip issues. Most of my solutions are going to center around how to better hold a paintbrush. A paintbrush, when you're holding it, you have to be quite nimble in both how you hold it. You've got to have a lot of control over the grip, and there's a limited number of ways that you can hold this, and because it's kind of a smaller thing, it requires finer control. However, some manufacturers like this is from Blick. This is a golden Taklon filbert brush, and it has an egg-shaped handle. The idea behind these is that for either kids or somebody who has major grip issues, this larger handle is a lot more ergonomic to hold, and there's a lot more options on how to actually hold this and feel a little more stable while you're holding this. The second is this thing that I think they were actually referring to. This is called an Easy Rider clip. It is essentially a ring that you place on your finger, and this one would be really good if you don't have a ton of strength in your hand or if you've got inconsistent grip strength. You can slip on whatever you're using, whether that's a pencil, a paintbrush. You can then rotate this until it's in a comfortable position. And then when you're actually using it, if you didn't have a grip on it, it can actually keep it more in place. If you have a better range of motion up further in your arm, you could still potentially do most of what you wanted to without having to firmly grip the brush. There is one big issue with this Easy Ring Rider. It's really only for right-handed people. This angle of this clip-on here only works for righties. I observed that it was pointed in the wrong direction. I had a bunch of people say just flip it over, but that doesn't fix the problem. I even had a lefty test this out and no dice. So unfortunately, this one will only be a good solution for people who are right-handed. Next up, we have the Easy Hold, and these are kind of universal grip extenders. So it's a silicone piece with two holes in it, and these can be stretched really wide, so you could use bigger brushes, you could use a variety of different things. You simply slip it onto whatever you're going to be using. Then you can use the brush with this extra handle, and this opens up a ton of different grip possibilities. You could either just use the brush kind of similarly and use this as an additional stabilizer. You could hold on to this if it's easier. There's a ton of different ways that you could use this that could help provide more stability, whether it just helps kind of hold it on or whether you actually need to hold it in a different way. These egg-shaped handles are really neat. However, these are offered in a limited range of supplies and by a limited number of manufacturers. If the egg-shaped handle is appealing to you, they do make pencil grips or writing device grips that are egg-shaped. And these are a little tighter fit, but you can still get these on a brush with a fairly thick handle, and that can kind of help you grip this and make it a little bit more comfortable if this is something that is appealing. If you're more of a DIYer, I did see that some people were buying pool noodles and cutting them up, and then you can make a ton of these from them. Now let's talk about 3 different tools that have more to do with stability. So if you're suffering from tremors or your hand is shaking or you just need more stability while you're painting, I've got 3 suggestions for you. If shaking or tremors are the issue that you're suffering from, weight is your friend, and while we need to be able to grip this paintbrush well and be nimble with it, it is very light. So any sort of shaking that you have is going to be exaggerated on the ends of this. So adding some weight can actually be helpful to calm down the shaking. You can find something like this, which is a universal weighted holder that you slot on to whatever you're going to be using, and then there are a series of screws where you can tighten it on there. But once you place this on your brush, you can really feel the weight. It sets in and it reduces the amount of shaking that is possible because of the extra weight. The one I bought from Kinsman Enterprises looks like it's really nice quality. This feels solid. It doesn't feel like it's going to break down. However, in order to actually get it firmly attached, you have to use these teeny tiny screws and these hex keys in order to actually tighten them on to the thing. This is a good tool, but if you're already struggling with something like tremors or really bad hand shaking, you're probably going to have to ask for help in assembling this or putting it on. And that's not my favorite because then you won't be able to switch this between different brushes and utensils. You'd have to buy a bunch of these. Next up is a leaning bar, and this is something that I just had in my studio. This is not something I bought specifically for this video. It's actually great for anybody who does art, whether or not you have some sort of stability type issue. This can really help you get better control over really fine detail marks by having something to brace on where your hand isn't directly on the painting that you're doing. In essence, you set this on top of your workspace with your painting underneath, and then you're able to slide this up and down and keep your hand rested on this without resting on your artwork. Those are the tools that I have to share with you today, and I just want to say a really heartfelt thank you to the people who have shared their stories with me on the first video I made, where maybe you did find something that helped you, or you were newly disabled or had a new affliction that was causing you to not be able to create. I just want to say thank you for sharing with me. It really does mean a lot. If anybody else knows about any other tools that might help others, please let me know in the comments below. I love having a bunch of these ideas kind of in my pocket, so if people are having struggles, I can make these suggestions to them. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be covering a bunch of different things, a lot of watercolor content, a lot of different tools. I'll be testing a bunch of different art supplies, all in the hopes that I can give you guys some better knowledge and open up art and creativity to more people. I hope that you have a magically creative day, and also this horse's name is Bonita. It's my mom's horse, so have a good day, and I will see you guys next time.